Hey, this is probably the first time we're talking to each other because this is the first video on my YouTube channel. Let me introduce myself. My name is Daniel. I am a professional dancer, avid gamer, kind of autistic boy who, self-diagnosed. Sometimes I feel like I'm just stupid, but whatever. And I wanted to build this YouTube channel in order for me to be able to talk to the camera, be more comfortable, and honestly find my people because it's been a lonely 30 years. Not that I've been alone that entire time, but midlife crisis is starting to creep upon me. And what are we doing? So, very first video on my YouTube channel. This is just a little introduction video. I'm gonna tell you things about myself and things that I'm probably gonna be doing in this channel moving forward. Gonna try to upload maybe once a week. If I'm ambitious, maybe twice a week, but I don't wanna overdo it to the point where I burn myself out like all the other failed attempts that I've had at being a YouTuber or a content creator in general, just because I get so motivated at the beginning of it all. I make all this content, I do all this editing, 30 days go by, and then I'm like, I hate this. It's so much work, but also I'm trying to make videos, longer videos, and also to the point where I don't do a lot of editing. So like a lot of raw footage, maybe just fix a little lighting here, blah, blah, blah there. But not a lot of cuts, because the whole point of I feel YouTube is being comfortable in front of the camera, and you can't really be comfortable if you cut off the negative parts. Like, I don't think I have any reasons to do any cutting yet. I think I've done pretty well from a first attempt. Second attempt. And so, yeah, a little bit of my background. I was born in Colombia, land of good salsa, land of good coffee, land of good... Anyways, moved to the USA when I was 12 years old. A young buck like myself moved out here because my mama was already here. And so I decided to come out like it was my decision, come on. So she shipped me out like if it was a FedEx order. I was in Idaho, potato land, since I was 12 till I was 21. And it was great. It was actually really cool growing up in a classical per se small town in the USA. It wasn't nothing like the movies, because when I was growing up, we had the Disney Channel, and we always thought, going to school, I always thought the bully, the nerd, the cheerleader, all this. But no, growing up in America with those expectations from the foreign eyes was so, no pun intended, eye-opening, because everybody got along so well. I feel like if I was to grow up in LA though, it would have been a whole different story. But I'm glad that I grew up in a really healthy environment. It really helped shape me out to who I am right now. And also, it was a little difficult to follow the path that I wanted to follow, because I wanted to be a professional dancer. So ever since I saw a dance crew do his thing, I traveled to LA for vacation. My family wanted to go on vacation to LA, right? And so during our trip to Venice, I think it was Venice, there was this guy called Flat Top, rest in peace his soul. I was watching him do his thing, and I don't know what, he picked me out of the crowd. He was like, young man, you come here. And I was a young buck, just about yay tall. And I was just there oh, what am I doing? And he was messing with me, doing all of this. You know what I'm talking about? And so that really inspired me to do that. I wanted to entertain people. I wanted to mess with people and inspire them to do the same, bring joy, happiness to a large amount of people, kind of what I want to do on video, right? And so past that, I turned 15 and I started to take it serious, which honestly, as a dancer, it's kind of a old age, but not impossible. I know a lot of kids who start off at 3 and then quit, but when they're 18, you know what I'm saying? And so I started learning off of YouTube. Yeah, family broke. So I went ahead and started learning off of YouTube. A lot of cool videos from people such as Matt Stefanina, Marquis Scott for freestyle. A lot of popping. I was really into all of this. Took me a while. The dancing in Idaho was very small. Utah had a really good dancing, but I was young. What am I gonna do? Travel to Utah? But so I just started learning on my own. Found a few people here and there that had the same passion as I did. We would go downtown, put a little hat down, get the cardboard boxes and set them down so some people can break dance. And that's kind of how I continue my path into becoming the dancer that I eventually became. When I turned 21, I moved to Las Vegas, Nevada. I hope I'm saying that right, Nevada. And I realized I'm not that great of a dancer. It took me going to like another city where like dancing was being taken serious to realize that I was so bad. And so from the time that I was 21 all the way to like, I don't know, maybe 25, I took a gazillion classes, like so many classes from people who were working in the jobs that I wanted to be doing. Cirque du Soleil, what else was there at the time? Honestly, Cirque du Soleil was the biggest company out there. So there were other like smaller ones that would like contract you for like gigs here and there, but Cirque du Soleil was like pinnacle. And I think it still is, at least to me. I don't know if anybody has different opinions, but you can put it down in the comments if you do. So after training, surprisingly, within like the first year, I booked my first gig, which is being a backup dancer for a drag queen in Vegas. It was cool. I bummed it, but it was cool. Gotta start somewhere, right? Even if it's a bum, it is what it is. You went out there, you put yourself out there, you did your best. It wasn't whatever it was expected, but you learn, you grow. Past that, classes. I booked my first little tour, which was being a magician's assistant. Oh yeah, you know the girls that be having all this on? No, I was the dude with the suit on and the magician was a girl. And so that lasted for about 6 months. I'm like giving you the rundown. Maybe in different videos, I'll break down each job that I did that involved a contract. But for now, I'm gonna give you just like a quick little rundown. And so after the circus, a friend of mine was like, hey, you wanna go to China? I was like, what? I don't know. Which was stupid because that was a really great opportunity, which I took, but it was like 1 a.m. This is another really good story that I gotta like do a whole video about, but I was like 1 a.m. on I wanna say Thursday. No, it was going into Friday. And we needed to be at the embassy by Friday at 9 a.m. So imagine my I'm not toe down, and I was like, sure, let's go. Little saying, or needless to say, we made it. That was my first time going to China. I came back, fell in love with the country, looked for jobs because that's half the process. We got to research what we want to be doing in this industry. Found another job that was booking for China, surprisingly too. So I submitted. They were like, no. Then I was like, dang. Then a couple of weeks went by. They were like, actually, we do want you. Someone didn't take the bait. And I was like, oh, I'll bite. And so I was like, yeah, let's get it. And so they flew me out. I worked in China for 2 years. That's a conversation for a different video. Came back home. COVID happened. I ended up not working for the entirety of COVID. At least not in the dance industry. But you know, I'm an immigrant. I'm an immigrant. So when things need to get done, I get them done. Which means I was working fast food for like a long time, which is okay. I don't talk down, or I don't look down on anybody that does what they need to survive, because that's what we do. We survive. And then after COVID kind of mellowed down, I started getting more dance jobs. It was great. What was I doing at the time? Honestly, I was just gigging. I was still in Vegas. I was gigging. Then I know I booked something else. Oh yeah. I booked Legoland, so I moved to California at some point. There's so many jobs in between that I have to talk to you guys about, but that's gonna be, like I said, I gotta make sure I leave stories for different videos for when I have no idea what to tell you guys. And so, moved to California, did Legoland for the whole season, actually for 2 seasons, summer and winter for Halloween. Then I was in California. Currently I'm in California. After Legoland, we did Universal Studios. Woo! Another story for a different day. And then after Universal Studios, we pieced out. I did gigs here and there, amazing things to do, blah, 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 blah. Then I did my second tour, US tour, which was for a K-pop Demon Hunter tribute show, which was extremely cool. It did teach me a lot about production assistant though, and building a stage, because part of the contract had us like building the stage that we're gonna be dancing on, not like the stage itself, but like the lights, the curtains, all the sound, all that stuff. And I'm kind of thankful to that job because it got me skinny. Yeah, you see these muscles? Well, a little bit, but you know what I'm talking about. That was my last contract, which actually lasted until last month. I am in talks to go into another tour by next month. I mean, this is July, we're gonna go in August. And that's kind of a rundown, a very, very fast rundown of my life. From when I came to America when I was 12 to 31 now that I'm possibly gonna go on my next tour around the US and Canada. But you didn't hear that from me. Anyways, thank you guys if you made it this far. Subscribe if you want to keep hearing my stories, if you want to go ahead and follow your journey. Like I said, in this channel, I'm going to be talking about my experiences as a dancer, as well as maybe even like show you guys some dance moves that you can utilize in your day-to-day, maybe at the club, family gathering, you know, a little uncle at the barbecue type of vibe. Anyways, my name is Daniel. Thank you for listening. Catch you on the next video. Goodbye.